We popped that baby in our PS2 and we just sat in awe as we watched the Rockstar logo be painted on my grandmother's CRT TV, followed by the best piece of music I've ever heard. We were then introduced to the game's protagonist, CJ Carl Johnson. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was just a surreal experience to witness. This was the ultimate Grand Theft Auto experience in the PS2 and will be regarded as the best game on the PS2. Some people may have other games that might take that label, but I think majority will agree that San Andreas was special. Now, like always, I'm not gonna talk about the game's story. Here, take these. Don't go using them in public, okay? I'm gonna talk about why I adore this game so much. Naturally, the gameplay. After playing Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City, I can tell you that this, my brothers and sister? I don't know. That Rockstar Games were the biggest examples of improvement and expanding on their franchises, because San Andreas fixes everything that was broken in the previous titles. I mean, of course, it's got its own issues. I'm not going to deny that, but this was an amazing experience. The driving in this game is fun. Every car has a different top speed, and when you reach max speed on a sports car, for example, the motion blur that is introduced to elevate the speed in which you're going is blinding sometimes. The combat, whether shooting or fighting with your fists, are much more polished. When using auto aim, the movement is satisfying and snappy, and also each NPC that you are attacking has their own life meter, which is highlighted by the targets that are visible when aiming. There is also a variety of weapons. Of course, there's your obvious pistols and SMGs and miniguns and so on and so forth, but there are some unique melee weapons as well. Unique. And of course, we all know what I used to do with the cops and gang members in this game when I was bored. You know it. I taught it to you already. I fucked around with Weapon Set 3. The camera is now free, which meaning you can now move around and move the camera at the same time without stopping. This game had a variety of vehicles, of course, like the previous two titles before it. But this game introduced us to a new type of vehicle, in the form of the BMX. It was fun to ride the bicycle around Grove Street and just taking in the orange skyline. This game also added different types of planes. Of course, there was the obvious dodo, but they also added the ability to fly planes like the cargo plane, a freaking commercial airline, a few stunt planes, and the obvious crop duster, and everyone's goat, the Hydra jet. This game also had a functioning airport. Sure, you couldn't go to Vice City or Carcer City for that matter, but it was just surreal using the airport to travel to other parts of the map in this game. Speaking of flying, you can fly a fucking jetpack. What? Just seeing this magic backpack when I was a kid was absolutely mind-boggling. Speaking of vehicles, if you're really bored, you can steal a fucking train. This game's map was huge in terms of open world games in 2004. Unlike GTA 3 and Vice City, there aren't 2 or 3 islands in this game. No, there are 3 frickin' cities: Los Santos, San Fierro, and Las Venturas, each with a decent amount of countryside and special locations. Each map is filled with restaurants to refill health or increase CJ's fat levels, clubs where you can take part in dancing minigames, triathlons like in Grand Theft Auto 5, strip clubs, tattoo parlors, barbers, purchasable safe houses and businesses, and many more things to do. Each place has their own gang territories too, but Los Santos is the only city in the game that allows you to take over a territory. One thing that I found really interesting in this game was the customization. This game allowed you to do a crap load of things to make your character your own, as well as the cars in the game. Like for example, CJ could get a haircut all to your liking. You could paint his body with tattoos, buy a variety of clothes and jewelry, whether it be formal, informal, sporting, or whatever you find suits CJ best, and a mixture of all. You can also change the figure that CJ has. You can make him skinny, you can make him roided up, or you can make him fat.
Alright. He's fat!
Like me. You can also have CJ learn different fighting styles, which alter how CJ fights, like boxing, kung fu, or Muay Thai. You can also customize cars that you have stolen. Only a handful of cars can be fully customized, but all the cars can be fitted with wings or spoilers, rims, and nitro, which makes this the only game with the car customization feature in the entire franchise until Grand Theft Auto 5. There is so much you can do in this game that I'm too lazy to mention, so I suggest you play this game for yourself. Since we are at the topic on different versions, let's talk about it. In 2020, I made the horrible mistake of buying the physical copy on the PS3. It's just the shitty mobile port of the game, the old shitty mobile port of the game. There is the original Xbox version, which I haven't played, but you can decide for yourself. The PC version misses a few in-game songs, and if you want a better experience, you're going to need to install a lot of mods to fix and add the missing things. Never touch the PS3 or the Xbox 360 versions, okay? I learned from my mistake. You can try the definitive editions if you want. I mean, they are the same mobile versions. But for the ultimate experience, play it on the PS2. It just feels better. You don't need more of an explanation than that. Now let's move on to my favorite part, the actors. Like the previous titles, San Andreas had a variety of brilliant Hollywood actors and rappers. Here are some of my favorites. Young Melee as CJ. He is a rapper, and we also know him as the cousin of Franklin Clinton, or by his real name, Sean Fantano. Young Melee recently acted in a movie called The Kings of LA alongside Gerald Sling Johnson, but we know him as Lamar from GTA 5. Chris Penn as Officer Eddie Pulaski, another underrated actor in Hollywood. He is most popularly known as Nice Guy Eddie from the Reservoir Dogs, and as well as starring in films like Footloose and True Romance. He sadly passed away 2 years after Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was released. Fazian Love as Sweet Johnson. He is mostly known for comedy movies like Friday and Elf, as well as The Replacements. But being South African, he is most popularly known from the South African comedy classic called Mr. Bones. Do your own research on that, okay? I personally think it's kind of annoying. Anyway, next on, Samuel L. Jackson as Officer Tenpenny. Mr. Motherfucker himself. I had a massive smile hearing his voice when I was a kid, because he's pretty much the reason as to why I like to swear a lot. Some of my favorite movies with him are Pulp Fiction, Do the Right Thing alongside Giancarlo Esposito, Django Unchained, and so many much more movies that I won't mention just to save time. The return of actors like Frank Vincent, William Fichtner, Danny Dyer, and Debbie Mazar, and the actors that surprised me the most, Peter Fonda as the Truth, James Woods as Mike Torino.
Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
David Cross as Zero, and Ice-T as Mad Dog. Now let's move on to my favorite missions. I'm not going to mention many missions, for I implore you to witness it for yourself. My favorite missions were Black Project. In this mission, the Truth asks you to break into Area 69 and retrieve or steal the jetpack. This mission can be done in two ways: alerting the guards by going in full guns blazing, or go in using stealth, which I personally like due to the variety of approaches this mission had. It's also crazy seeing some random guy from a gang randomly enter a military base and fly off with a jetpack. It's basically how the Fast and Furious franchise is today. The Da Nang Thang. In this mission, you are tasked by Woodsy Moo to get on a ship that has refugees in them. CJ frees the refugees, and one of them tells him where the leader is. You shoot away towards him, and he's waiting for you, where he's wielding a sword. So he expects a dramatical sword fight. In the back of my mind, I remember this scene from The Waterboy.
You can do it! Cut his fucking head off!
I was ready for this battle. We were ready to have the best sword fights you've ever seen. So, what did I do? I instead blasted him with my combat shotgun and escaped. St. Mark's Bistro. In this mission, Sal tells you to go to St. Mark's Bistro in Liberty City and kill Marco Ferrelli. This mission is by far my favorite because apart from Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, it's the only game that allows you to visit an old city for a mission. CJ takes a taxi to the restaurant where he kills all the gang members and Marco, and just going through this new interior is so refreshing. Now it's that time of the video where we talk about what everyone else does whenever they mention Grand Theft Auto. The music. In this game, like always, I never used to listen to all the radio stations. Only while I was in college that I realized that I need to give them a try. And boy, were there a lot of gems in each station. Like always, I will leave a playlist with all the game's radio stations in the description below for you guys to give them a try. It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. Rebel Without a Pause by Public Enemy. The Vapors by Buzz Markie. And Warm It Up Kane by Big Daddy Kane in playback. Crazy by Willie Nelson. All My Exes Live in Texas by Whitey Schaefer. I Love a Rainy Night by Eddie Rabbit. 3 Cigarettes in an Ashtray by Patsy Cline in K. Rose. Love Roller Coaster by Ohio Players. Odyssey by John Harris. Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. And Hollywood Swinging by Kool and the Gang in Bounce FM. Murder Rap by Above the Law. Hood Took Me Under by Compton's Most Wanted. Deep Cover by Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg. And How Could Just Kill a Man by Cypress Hill in Radio Los Santos. Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode. Mother by Danzig. Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machines. Them Bones by Alice in Chains. And Cult of Personality by Living Color in Radio X. So You Like What You See by Samuel. Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe. Motown Philly by Boyz II Men. And My Lovin', You're Never Gonna Get It by En Vogue in CSR 103:9. Wicked in a Bed by Shabba Ranks. Armageddon Time by Will Williams. Drum Pan Sound by Reggie Stepper. And Pressure Drop by Toots and the Maytals in the returning Keja Radio West. Green Onions by Booker T and the MGs. Cross the Tracks, We Better Go Back by CO and the Max. Lowrider by War and Express Yourself by Charles Wright and the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band in Master Sounds 98.3. But there are 2 radio stations that I used to listen to whenever playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Classic rock the way it was meant to be enjoyed. On dust.
I can't believe I get to play music for a living, even if it is other people's. Hey, whatever happened to Love Fist?
This station is full with rock classics that you want to raid your local military base too. Some of my favorites are Young Turks by Rod Stewart, Free Bird by Lynyrd Skynyrd, A Horse with No Name by America, and White Wedding by Billy Idol, and many more that I haven't mentioned. If you're looking for a moment in time where you can dance in your head and in the middle of a busy freeway, then you should tune in too.
House music, all night long, you know it makes sense. SFUR. You're on SFUR, listening to house music. I'm Hans. That's about it, really. Shut up and dance, you fools!
Some of my favorite songs were Can You Feel It Chuck D Mix by Mr. Fingers, Pacific 202 by 808 State, Make My Body Rock the Basic Mix by Jamanda, Promised Land Club Mix by Joe Smooth featuring Anthony Thomas, and Mafumbe by Culture Vibe. I just love house music and 90s Eurodance. I don't like to dance, but just listening to these songs just wanna make my body move in ways I never thought possible. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is the most fun, chaotic and impressive game that I had ever played as a kid. I will always remember it as the game that launched my interest in Rockstar Games and their IPs. I'm hoping we do get more news on Grand Theft Auto 6 soon, but by the looks of it, we got a long road ahead of us. If you hadn't played San Andreas yet, I suggest you do, because you won't regret it. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few things in this video, but I'll let you explore the game even more by yourself. Whatever you play it on, you'll have a great time with it, except for the mobile ports. Never touch the mobile ports. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I don't have a consistent schedule. It's like I'm brown bread. I say I expire next week Tuesday, but I start getting moldy tomorrow afternoon. I really do hope you understand that joke. Anyway, thank you so much for your continuous support. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. Till we meet again.